one particular passport is effectively free, which is now one of my favorite options in 2026. It wasn't as attractive before, but there's certain reasons why this has shot up in significance and importance as far as I'm concerned. A big section of people who talk with me, my clients and external people who consult, usually ask this question. There's so many CBIs, or are there CBIs available? Which is the best one, or two or three best options that I should consider for myself and my family? And this video, I'm going to share with you my thoughts and my favorite picks, 1, 2, and 3 top picks that you could consider moving forward starting this year. And let's quickly recap, or let's look at the inventory. There are 5 Caribbean citizenships. Now, I'm not a big fan of most of these programs. The only program that makes sense, and if I had to get a Caribbean one, the biggest deal breaker really is for Western country passport holders is that they capture your TIN, right? Your SIN, your TIN, your SSN, whatever your home country tax ID is. So on the file, it's captured, it's linked, it's tagged. So this passport is just, in my opinion, it's really not a great tool for banking purposes. You got to follow all your home country rules and regulations, but still having everything linked back to your home country passport, how much of a freedom does that provide? A lot of naturalized options never do this kind of stuff. So those are real citizenships. These are purchased passports. So these will link a lot of things that you may not necessarily want or even be aware of. So you got to be careful with these options. The only option from this list I would even recommend or consider is the Grenada option, because it has better access as compared to the other ones. Reputation wise, slightly better reputation than the other ones. Access to Russia, China, and E2 to the US on the same passport. Although now you cannot make effective use of the E2, but it just talks about the relations this country has with other nations. It does not feature on the US travel bans list. When they come up with that list, usually Grenada skips that one. So for that reason, if you had to pick one, then Grenada would be a clear winner out of that list. Let's move on to the ones in the Middle East / Africa. There's Sierra Leone, there's Sao Tome and Principe, there's Egypt, and in the Middle East you have Turkey and Jordan. Out of all these passports, let's start off with Egypt. Will I get this one? No, I would not get this one. I would not recommend this one. They ask you for the last 5 years of tax history. They charge you 300K in a property investment plus fees. Given everything and given the strength of the passport, given the fact that are you going to realistically go and live in Egypt? I would not. A lot of people watching this channel would not. The passport does not get you many places. Very poor passport, and bureaucracy, the kind of culture, it's very different for someone coming from the Western world or even Asia. So for that reason, this is not a preferred one. I never recommend this to anyone. So Egypt is out. Jordan is it's too expensive for what it's offering. Does not make sense for the type of passport it provides. Not a lot of takers for this one, so Jordan is clearly out. In Africa, out of all the ones, a lot of people think, okay, Sao Tome and Principe is an exciting one. I don't think it's exciting at all. And some people think there's that CPLP connection, but don't forget, you just purchased this passport and then you're going to turn up asking for CPLP benefits, and then you're hoping that Portugal is going to be any sooner in 7 years using this CPLP passport. I personally feel it's a bad idea. I don't know if it is going to work out or not. Portugal is being crazy with their rules. They just changed the citizenship time frame from 5 years to 10 years. They want genuine connections. They want genuine integration with the country. Purchasing a passport like Sao Tome and Principe is not going to fly too high with Portugal, in my opinions. If you're getting it for that reason, I think it's a very bad idea. In general, I don't like the foundation of this program, and just a personal opinion. This is not immigration advice. A private company partners with a country, does the thing in Dubai. It's subject to Dubai rules and regulations. Now, we all know how Dubai keeps track of your messaging apps. There's something as public as messaging apps have to undergo a strict watch. Think about any program that's operating in Dubai. Of course, the company is subject to the data rules of Dubai, and all that information, your citizenship information, your family information, your source of wealth, all that rich information is not just with the program, but it's being collected in Dubai. In the UAE, would I be comfortable doing that program for what it's offering? Not at all. Not at all. Now, yes, of course, we do support. A lot of people ask for it, and my objective is to be very transparent, very honest with you with how I think. You might think differently. You might come and ask for that program, and yes, we work with our liaisons directly to get you that at the best, at the cheapest possible price point legally that can be offered. But if you ask my genuine opinion, am I going to get this for the CPLP benefit? The answer is not really. Brazil has a very clear rule about this. They typically look for CPLP connection by origin. So if you're purchasing a passport and presenting it to them, I doubt if it is going to fly that high. Now, there are certain African programs that are under the radar, right? They're not subject to that whole Dubai thing. They don't go through the same canned process for CBIs. Those are exceptional citizenships. So if your situation is tricky, or if you're looking for a fast path to citizenship with the bare minimum legally required information that you're sharing, that's in your favor. So these are legally structured programs. They obviously, you're working with the government, but the government has a lot of discretion. So you have a couple of programs in Africa that work like that, and we obviously help our clients under certain circumstances to look at those programs as well. What are the other programs in non-EU countries that operate like this? There's Albania, Serbia, Georgia. So yes, there's citizenship by exception programs or citizenship by merit programs in those countries. And if I had to pick one, right, from the CBI in this space, I would definitely 100% pick Turkey. Turkey is 400K in property, 500K in the bank. The bank option is no longer a great option. So I'm going to leave that aside because you might lose up to 100K or more if you do the bank deposit option, because they've taken away the protection from that option. So I'm going to leave that aside. The best one is the property purchase. Any kind of property sensibly purchased is going to appreciate somewhat, right? So you aren't going to lose much there. You'll make some money or you'll break even, and that's fine. The Turkish passport has access to Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, and many other Latin countries. It is a decent travel document. You have access to Belarus, interesting. You have access to a lot of non-EU countries. You have 1 year of access to Georgia, which is impressive. So the Turkish passport, you can't go wrong with the access. You're getting something there. Plus, Turkey is a country which you can utilize. The Istanbul airport is pretty connected to all of the EU region. So if you want to travel to the EU, you have a good landing pad. You can spend some time in Istanbul, and then you can obviously travel pretty easily. So for that reason, I think that Turkey CBI is top notch. And if Erdogan, and this is the latest development, is talking about doing a 20-year tax holiday in Turkey, and if that goes live, then I think this one really would be one of the best CBIs to consider. So if you are an early mover, if you want to move now before the price changes or the program changes, we have 3 exceptional attorneys that handle our Turkey workload, and then of course we can hook you up for our team in Uruguay to get the Uruguay permanent residency using your Turkish nationality. Also the Paraguay, it can be done together, and we have other Latin residencies that we can pair based on your appetite. So Turkey is a clear favorite option in this space. What about Nauru and Vanuatu? I'm going to clearly avoid Nauru at whatever price point, even for free, I would say, not for free, but even for something like 70K, I'm not going to look at Nauru citizenship. I'll avoid that at any cost, really, because it's a Caribbean style due diligence. For not, it doesn't offer much. It's just going to aggregate your data. You're not going to practically use a Nauru passport to go to Nauru. You're not going to use this for any access or travel because it hardly has any meaningful access. It collects your home country tax information, the TIN, the SIN, the SSN, and all those kind of things. For what it is offering, I don't think Nauru makes sense. Vanuatu is a much better option than Nauru. Now, of course, Vanuatu is not the most reputed passport. It's for a certain type of individual. It's a zero tax country. So if you're looking for some interesting tax situations, then Vanuatu could be okay, right? Again, it's not the best for all, but for certain type of people, Vanuatu could be an interesting option. If you already have 5 or 6 passports, adding a Vanuatu is a very different thing than just having a second passport from Vanuatu. So I would definitely we have direct links and we have teams on the ground, so we can obviously help you with Turkey, Vanuatu, even STP, and some of the other programs. And you know what to do? You can always click the link and have a quick chat, finalize which CBI or CBE, right? So we do a lot of CBE support for our clients. So we can have the quick chat, get you started with the citizenship program of your choice. And before you go, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because here's where we update you with any breaking news that happens real time. And before you go, let me know which out of all these programs, which program is your favorite program in 2026. Are you thinking of starting one? So which one is it, and why? So explain the reason why you think that is your favorite program or your number one choice. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and catch you in the next one.